Hi, sir. There's a handful of things that I want to go through on this piece of work. Some of the things you've got right, but there's just a bit of feedback I want to give you. This one, the first one, make G the subject. Now, I know you know how to solve equations, and I'm not going to make G the subject, I'm going to make F the subject, okay? So that you can go back and make G the subject later yourself. Now, when you're making something the subject, you're using exactly the same skills as you would use to solve an equation. As long as you do the same thing to both sides, then that equation remains true. So if I'm making F the subject, the first thing that I want to get rid of is that 3g. So I'm going to subtract 3g from both sides. So on this side I'm going to have d minus 3g. If I subtract 3g from the right hand side, I end up with just 2f. Now I want f as the subject, so the next thing I need to get rid of is that 2. And to get rid of that 2, because it's multiplied on that side, I divide both sides by 2. So if I divide the right hand side by 2, I just get a single f. And if I divide the left hand side by 2, it's just all of that over 2. And I could write it like that, or I could write it like this, but if I write it like that, I have to remember to put the brackets, because I'm dividing the whole thing by 2. Absolutely perfect. I just wanted to show you a different method. So what you've done is perfectly correct. What I do is I use the fact that the exterior angles of any polygon add up to 360 degrees. Now there is, like I said, there is nothing wrong with your method. I just wanted to introduce you to another one. So what I would do is I'd find out the exterior angle. Because it's regular, it means that everything is the same. So I would do 360 divided by 8, which gives me 45 degrees. So the exterior angle of a regular octagon is 45 degrees, so the interior angle must make a straight line with that, so it must be 180 minus 45, which is 135 degrees. And then if I wanted to know what the interior angles added up to, just want to make that a little bit smaller so I've got a bit more space, then I would take my 135, so total interior, 135 times 8, which gives me 1080. So same thing, just done in a slightly different way. Absolutely correct, but there is a problem with that. Okay, it's not true that 6 times 8 equals 48 divided by 2. 6 times 8 equals 48. And if you do that, you've made a mathematical error, even though you've got the right answer, and you should put centimetres cubed, by the way. So a better way of setting it out is 6 times 8 divided by 2, because you know you're going to divide by 2, equals 48 divided by 2 equals 24. That's now mathematically correct, because all those things are equal to each other. Final thing, he's wrong. You're saying he's wrong because hexagons also tessellate, but it's worth explaining how do you know hexagons tessellate. So can you go through those calculations to show that that's true?